Hi guys, welcome back once again. Now we have reached question 10 of our sample paper walkthrough. So first of all, let's read through it and see what we can find. So it says the board of your company has been approached by another company, Rock Limited, to enter a joint venture. You have been assigned to the team working on this, and the sponsor has asked you to undertake some initial research to better understand Rock Limited's mission and values. What would be the best sources of this information? Select all that apply. Okay, so now what we have to this, as I said, sometimes the techniques, in some of the previous sessions that we did covering these questions, I said that sometimes it's very obvious. They mention the technique, or there's some very key identifying factor that allows us to go, that is Porter's 5 forces. That's VMOS. That's this, or that's this. But sometimes it's not specifically obvious. So you have to read through the scenario a couple times to get the context, and then try and think back to your studies and think about, what are they trying to ask us here? Because they're literally just saying to us, which would be the best sources of information? Now, in that instruction itself is a bit of a clue as to what they're asking, because if you read through this in terms of the context of it, what they're asking us for is an investigation. It's now, we are, as a business analyst, contextually, your assignments will often start with an investigation. You'll have to go and you'll have to talk to people in the organization. You'll have to look at documentation and gather information first to get all this contextual information to start moving forward through your assignment. And these investigation techniques are extremely useful, because you'll be using them over and over and over again. Speaking to people in workshops, meetings, or looking at reports and documentation, documents analysis. It may seem trivial, but it's actually really not. And when you formally attach a concept to it, or you formally define something as an activity in terms of investigation and how things are done, in terms of processes and what they are, it makes it easier to be able to apply it. If something was just wishy-washy and just said, we'll just go and talk to someone or do this, then a lot of the time it's not done as effectively. That's why it needs to be defined as an investigation technique, and all of the subcategories of these techniques and how they're done, you need to really know this. But in this context, it's asking us, there's a keyword there. It says undertake some initial research. Now, if we go back to our studies and about our text, we know that often before we even carry out an investigation into a business or an organization, we will carry out background research first. And there's often those 4 categories of research that we'll go through. We'll go through the website, the company reports, procedure manuals, and the organizational chart. And all of this will give us a lot of contextual, very good information in order to base our further analysis and our further business analysis work. So what is asking us here contextually, what would be the best techniques to use for this specific scenario? So it says the board of the company has been approached by another company, Rock Limited, to enter for joint venture. You have been assigned to a team working, and the sponsor has asked you to undertake this research to better understand Rock Limited's mission and values. So the objective here is to understand the mission and values of this other organization, because they're going to be entering into a merger and they want to know who these people are. And if we look at the 4 options here, if we look at A, B, C, and D, we just have to use a bit of logic here. We have to say, so A, their website. In your studies, the website is a category of background research. We'll use it. Often on a website, they'll literally state their missions. They'll state their values. They'll have testimonials on there which will indicate what type of an organization it is. Are the customers saying to the organization that these people are great? and they may even have some other information on there, such as they may have a write-up about the management team and what their values and their objectives are. So as a communal, or rather as a if you gather all this information together, it will slowly start showing you what the missions and values of this other organization are. So now B is another category in the company, which is the company reports that we can use in background research. And company reports will sometimes have information in there that will help us explain the targets and the strategic intent of the organization, which is also indicating what the missions and the values of the organization are. But as the instruction says what best sources of information are, A and B would be the best sources of information, but C and D are way less specific. It's about customer feedback on their website or customer feedback on industry websites. If we got customer feedback on industry websites, it's not quite going to tell us anything about the mission and the values of this specific organization. And customer feedback on their website, once again, it's not going to give us specific information about the mission and values. Therefore, I would say the best answers, and these are the categories from your background research section of business analysis practice. It's A and B. So those would be the two that I would select. And I hope this has given you some useful information to answer a question such as this. And I'll see you in the next session. Cheers.